look, we've come in Virginia through two tough elections in a row, 2009 and 2010. And I'm in the business of reminding Democrats, we had 4 good years in a row, 05, 06, 07, 08, and we had 2 bad years in 09 and 10. I want to tell you about the Virginia that I moved to in 1984. We didn't have good years. I moved into an extremely red state that at the presidential level was completely non-competitive. Nobody took Virginia seriously in presidential politics. The Republicans took us for granted, and the Democrats didn't come because why bother? That was the state I moved into in 1984. In 2000, when I declared my first candidacy for lieutenant governor, in the 14 previous statewide races, only one Democrat had gotten more than 50% of the vote. That was when I started my career in state politics. I've been in local politics already for 6 or 7 years, but Virginia was still reliably a red state. You could get Democrats elected to local positions, but you couldn't get them elected statewide, and you definitely had no chance of giving a Democratic presidential candidate electoral votes. When I was elected governor in 2005, I made a list of goals for myself. Political goals, executive goals, legislative goals. This was in November of 2005. My top political goal for myself was make Virginia competitive in presidential politics. And I put that goal number 1, not only because I'm a proud Democrat and I want Democratic candidates to be competitive, and remember, it was November of 05, I had no idea who was going to be running in 08. But I made that goal number 1 because my thesis was, if you're not competitive in presidential politics, you're kind of irrelevant to national politics. And whether you're a Democrat or Republican or independent, it's better to live in a competitive battleground state than live in a state that people take for granted. And so I signed on early with President Obama. I got behind him early because I knew Virginia was not going to be competitive by accident. It was going to take somebody in a leadership position, and thank goodness I had a 4-year opportunity to be governor. It was going to take somebody in a leadership position to put their shoulder behind it and really push. The tradition prior to me was, frankly, that a Democratic governor might endorse a presidential candidate, but it would be somewhat tepid and would work really hard because it seemed like there was no chance you could make Virginia competitive in presidential politics. But I believe different. So I got early behind my candidate and I pushed very, very hard. It was tough because there were at least 2 wonderful candidates in the race, and I had to pick. But I picked and I worked hard, and in 2008, President Obama was elected, not in spite of Virginia, but with Virginia. And so for those who have had, a little bit of a down feeling about 09 and 10, hey, I've had a down feeling too, but I have the basis of comparison. And the basis of comparison is this: we were never competitive in presidential politics, and nobody paid attention to us. And we weren't that competitive in any statewide race for U.S. Senator or statewide seats for a long time. We are back and we're completely competitive now. We're not a blue state, but we are a completely competitive state. And what that means is we're going to win races, but we're also going to lose them. But it is so much better. It is so much better today to live in a state that's completely competitive than one that I moved to in the 1980s, where Democrats, especially in presidential races, it was just written off and nobody paid attention to us. Because now the candidates have to come, they got to make their case. If you look at the presidential race of 08, the number of times that the Obama-Biden ticket visited or the McCain-Palin ticket visited between the conventions and Election Day, and you look at where they visited, where they did events in Virginia, you plot that up. And then you look at 04 or 2000 or 96 or 92, and you can go all the way back as long as you want. And you'll see that now people are paying attention to Virginia. And again, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, that's a good thing. They're paying attention to Virginia because we Democrats have made it competitive. The work that you've done, the work that I've done, the work that others have done, we've made it competitive, and so people have to pay attention to Virginia.